Hey, hi, hello everybody, and welcome to another video. It's been a minute since I recorded, or less so since I've recorded, and more so since I've actually posted anything. And I feel like I owe you guys an explanation as to why. A lot has been going on in my life, and a lot has not been going right in my life. A lot of apply for the job, don't get the job, apply for the program, don't get the program, apply for aid, don't get the aid, stuff like that. And that has kind of like put a damper on my progress with YouTube. And this is not to say like, oh, I'm just bad at YouTube, blah, 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 blah. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I needed a break. I needed a break. I needed a moment to, collect myself, really get my thoughts together, and put myself back in a mindset where doing YouTube and making YouTube videos feels good again. And 3 weeks is a very long time. It's a very long time to, have that moment, have that pause that just says, you're good. In that time, I have been doing a lot. I have been working on the Star Spread Out redraw. I've been trying to promote my commissions, which they're gonna get an entire revamp at this point. And I'll explain why in the next video. But once that's all put together and revamped, we'll see where we go from there. I've had a lot of family loss, a lot of personal growth. I'm talking in other servers more. I'm feeling more confident in talking with other people. I've been working on a project where I draw fake graphic novel covers for IPs that I know don't have graphic novels in any way, shape, or form just yet, and it feels good. It feels very nice. At the moment, the covers that I'm working on are for Misfits and Magic, which, if you don't know what that is, it is the Wizarding Magic School Kids on Bikes campaign that Dimension 20 is running. They're on their second season, and while the first season for me was very inspiring, I just didn't have the time when it came out to draw fan art for it. And now that I do, like, my personal projects are not as grandiose, and I don't have college work to deal with, I am finally in a place where I'm like, yeah, I can do this. That being said, hold on, I gotta take off my glasses. There's something in my eye. Okay. That being said, keep an eye out. I've actually reinstated my Patreon, or more so, I finally signed back in and pushed myself to actually use it, which is, it's not as bad as I thought it was. The changes that they're making I don't like, but posting there doesn't feel bad. And to the people that don't know, I have a Patreon where you can pay anywhere from $3 a month to $15 or $10 a month or something like that. And you get a range of different things, like behind the scenes looks, first looks, tutorials, stuff like that. I try to post at least once or twice a month there, and I already posted the first cover on Patreon. It's the same stuff that I post on Coffee. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's the same stuff that I post on Coffee that I post on Patreon. I don't know if that's allowed. I don't really care if it's allowed. I don't care. But I do also post more adult-oriented content on Patreon when I have it. So, just something to keep in mind if you are under 18. You might want to do a Coffee membership than a Patreon membership. Not saying that I don't, do the right things and use the right channels to prevent that, but sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry. That's what I'll say. Anyway, let's talk about this comic. This comic was made as a example comic for some commissions that I wanted to open up to. I'm still open for them, by the way, if you are interested. This is a Fields of Mystria fan comic where I have drawn a little bit of my experience with March. I'll get into that a little later. Let's talk about the art. This one I was really, really struggling with because I was not feeling the brushes. It was also very laggy. My program was very I don't want to work. And I wasn't a fan of that. I wasn't a fan of my program being I don't really want to work. I wasn't a fan of that. But eventually I did just power through, which, in a lot of ways you could see that I just powered through it. There's even a panel on here. I'm exposing myself it's nothing. But if you know me and you know how I like to work, I like to be as transparent as possible, especially with comics, because people love learning about comics and the ins and outs. I didn't color a full panel. On the second page, the top panel on the second page, fully not colored, and I just did not care. I didn't notice until afterward, but at the same time, I was just whatever. Also, I was not big on the, oh my god, my voice sounds so shaky right now. I was not big on the design that I picked, the farmer design that I picked. This is what I wear. I have the afro with the little devil horns and the black long sleeve shirt. I actually have the black long sleeve crop on right now, and then I have the green long sleeve stripy shirt on as a swappable outfit. I have a few. I might do a outfit of the day type thing with that at some point. I also had no fun with drawing March's muscles in his back in that first panel that you're looking at. Overall, okay, let's lay it out. Overall, I had fun making this. It was a very cool experience. It was the first bit of fan art that I've drawn since early 2024. The last piece that I did fan art wise was that jet piece. I think prior to this, it was that jet piece, and when I tell you, me and fan art are distant cousins. We talk, but it ain't all the time. But yeah, I had a hard time with the line art. Then I got to the colors, and I was like, the line art is not working in tandem with the colors, and it doesn't feel like my art. It kind of doesn't feel like my art. But at the same time, I'm looking at it and I'm looking past it. I'm looking at the stuff that I've done recently, like the new Stars Burn Out stuff. I'm looking at that and I'm like, oh, okay, I see it now. I see the changes. I see the swaps in methods. I'm seeing the differences. Because I had the same issue with the Stars Burn Out redraws, where the line art just wasn't working for me. But you know, I kind of went with it. I kind of recognized my mistakes and I moved forward. Yeah. As you can see, those two panels in the middle of this first page, I was not messing with that. I simply just copy pasted because it was such an easy panel to copy paste. Like, it's character in position A, character in position B, and these positions are literally seconds apart, so we do that. If you notice in chapter, it's not out yet, chapter 4 or 5 of Stars Burn Out, I do this multiple times. It is such an easy peasy way to get your panel count, if you have a panel count, while also telling your story, you know. Other than that, we're coming up to the end of the video, and I really don't want to keep rambling about how I don't like the line art. I do have something to say about Fields of Mystria. One, I love it. I love it so much. I think it's such a great game. Two, I guess I'm gonna give you guys like a headcanon that I have. I see a lot of people talk about how March is potentially trans, or like they headcanon him as trans, which is cute. I like that. I don't personally headcanon him as trans. I do have a trans headcanon though. I headcanon that Riz, it's spelled RHYS, so Risk. I headcanon him as trans. I don't know why, but something about him and something about his energy to me says trans, you know? Like, as a trans person, his vibe says trans to me. Which is not, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. And it's not a projection thing. I know a lot of people see current fandom and they see trans people being like, I headcanon that person as trans, and they're like, oh, you're projecting. Not a projection thing, I promise you. I just headcanon him as trans in a very different way than I'm trans, but like trans. I hope that made sense. I know sometimes I could say things and it doesn't make any sense at all, but hopefully that made sense. Anyway, the plot of this is, I tried to befriend March from day one. Day one, I was like, I need to be March's friend. And he was such a little butthead to me. He was such a little butthead to me for no reason. And then the first week, at the end of the first week, you go into the inn for the first Friday night at the inn. And he's like, oh my god, it's the best person in town. It's the farmer. He's gonna save us all. Like, you little butthead. Oh, he's so... Oh! Anger. I swear, like, he's the kind of character trope that, like, makes me want to, like, fully suplex, like, people. Like, the character with the back of my arm. Like, I just... Boom. But yeah, that's the whole plot. 2 pages long. And just, yeah. I was also really in my bag with doing bounce light on stuff to make it look... I don't know, something about bounce light just makes stuff look delicious. Anyway, we're at the end of the video. It's the last 2 minutes, so let me go ahead and do my little wrap up. Thank you for watching so much. I really appreciate when you guys watch these videos and comment and tell me how you feel about them. I know I'm not as consistent as I should be, and I apologize for that, but we're back in the swing of things. I have things scheduled and lined up, and hopefully in November, December, we are kind of back on the ball. I know this was like my second or third break this year, but you know, creative burnout is creative burnout, and we've had a conversation about that, so we don't have to do it again. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and if you are interested, go ahead and support me on Ko-fi or Patreon. Bye!